Professor S. M. D. Gauss worked as Senior Professor and Head of Physics Department at New College, Chennai. Before joining New College, he worked at C. Abdul Hakim College, Melvisharam in Vellore district as Physics teaching faculty. He served 36 years as Physics faculty for UG and PG. After retirement, he worked for 4 years as Head of Physics Department in SRM institutions. He also served as teaching faculty of Physics for 1 year at Saudi Arabia. His areas of interest are thermal physics and electricity. He studied BSc Physics from New College, post-graduation in Annamalai University and completed his MPhil at Presidency College, Chennai. He has presented and published 4 papers in crystal growth in national journals.
Welcome to UGC lectures in physics. Today I am going to deal with Newton's law of motions, momentum, law of impulse and momentum. What is impulse and law of conservation of momentum, applications of law of conservation of momentum. First, Newton's law of motion. Originally, there are so many philosophers, they were studying the cause of motion. According to Aristotle, he told that a constant force is necessary for the uniform velocity of motion of a body. It was discarded by Galileo. According to him, on the basis of his experiment on inclined plane, he told that no force is necessary for the movement of an object. When a body is moving, a frictional force opposes the motion of the body. The frictional force reduces the motion of the body. So, the frictional force is the cause for the stopping of the body. Later, Newton analyzed the Galileo's experiment and told his 3 laws of motion. These laws are called Newton's law of motion. First law tells about the what is force. The second law explains the dimensional explanation of the force. The third law explains the nature of the force. According to Newton, every body continues state of rest or of uniform motion unless it is compelled by an external force to change the direction of the motion. His law is based on Galileo's nature of inertia. That is, it explains what is inertia and what is force. Inertia can be explained as the inability of a body to change its motion by itself. The inability of the body to change its nature. So, the inertia can be classified into 3 categories: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Now, inertia of rest, the inability of a body to change its rest, that is inertia of rest. Example can be given, so many examples can be given for this. First, when we are traveling in a bus, suddenly bus stops, so we fall backward. Then, when you keep a book on a table, it will not move at all. That is the inability of a body to change its position of rest by itself, that is called inertia of rest. Inertia of motion, the inability of body to change its motion by itself is called inertia of motion. For example, now when we are getting down from a moving bus, we fall in the direction of the motion of the bus. Now, if you are traveling in a car, suddenly a brake is applied, you fall forward. Then, when an athlete is moving, even after reaching the finishing point, he moves, that is the inertia of motion. Inertia of direction, suppose if you are traveling in a car, then the car is going, when it is turned in the left hand side, you fall in the right hand side. That is the inability of yourself, the inertia makes you to travel at the direction of straight line, and suddenly the car is turned, you are turning towards left. So, the inability of the body to change its direction, motion or rest is called inertia. To change the body from its original position to next position, an external agency, force is necessary. So, force can be explained as the external agency which changes the position of rest or of uniform motion, that is called force. Force is a push or pull which changes the direction of a object, that is called force. The force can be explained, categorized by two ways. One is contact force, another is non-contact force. For example, if there is interaction between two bodies, that is called force. Now, the force may be in contact with each other or sometimes out of contact with each other. For example, you take air resistance, frictional force and applied force, these are all called contact force, because there is a physical contact between the two bodies. This is called the contact force. Then force is push or pull when they are separated by a distance. This is called non-contact force. Example, gravitational force and magnetic force, electric force, these are all called non-contact force. Now, this is about this. Now, what is momentum? Momentum, when a body is moving, there is a force acting to make it to stop. It depends upon two things, one is mass and velocity, second is velocity. So, the product of mass and velocity is called momentum. When a body is moving, more a force is acting means there is change in the momentum because of the change in velocity. Suppose if you are taking two bodies, they are moving, they are unequal masses having unequal velocities. Suppose the momentum is same, P1 is equal to P2. Here m1 is the mass of the first body, v1 is the velocity of the first body, m2 is the mass of the second body, v2 is the velocity of the second body. Here P1 is equal to P2, the momentum is same, m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2, that is m1 by m2 is equal to v2 by v1. That means the mass is inversely proportional to velocities. Let us come to the second law of Newton. The first law of Newton talks about the behavior of the bodies when forces are balanced. Now, you know, force is the external agency which acts on the body to change its direction or velocity or both. That means, force is essential to change the movement of the body, acceleration of the body. So, the second law of Newton deals with the behavior of the body when the forces are not balanced. For example, if P is the momentum of a body and F the external force acting on it, then according to Newton's second law, F is proportional to dP by dt, or F is equal to K into dP by dt, where K is a proportionality constant. If a body of mass m is moving with a velocity v, then its momentum is given by P is equal to mv. F is equal to K into dt into mv, that is equal to K m dv by dt. Unit of force is chosen in such a manner that the constant K is equal to unity, that is K is equal to 1. That means, force is the product of mass into acceleration, because dV by dt is equal to acceleration. So, force is the product of the mass and acceleration. Now, we can give an explanation for acceleration. The greater the inertia, the lesser will be the acceleration. So, force can be explained on the basis of a unit called Newton. So, here Newton is a unit, that is when a force of Newton can be explained by this way, that is when acceleration of 1 meter per second acts on a mass of 1 kilogram, the force produced is called 1 Newton. Now, let us talk about impulsive force or impulse of a force. Here impulsive force, an impulsive force is a very great force acting for a very short time on a body, so that the change in the position of the body during the time of the force acts on it and may be neglected. Example, the blow of hammer, the collision of two billiard balls, etc. Impulse of a force. The impulse of a force is a constant force F acting for a time t, is defined as the product of the force and time. That is, impulse is equal to force into time, J is equal to F into t. The impulse of a force F acting over a time interval t is defined by integral J is equal to 0 to integral 0 to t F into dt. That is, the impulse of a force therefore can be visualized as the area under the force. Then principle of impulse and momentum. By Newton's second law of motion, the force acting on a body is equal to ma, where m is equal to mass of the body and a is equal to acceleration produced. The impulse of the force is equal to F into t, that is equal to m a t. If u and v be the initial and final velocity of the body, then a is equal to v minus u by t. Therefore, impulse of the force is equal to m into v minus u by t into t, that is equal to m into v minus u, that is equal to mv minus mu. Impulse is equal to final momentum of the body minus initial moment of the body, that is impulse of the force is equal to change in the momentum. Now, I am going to tell you some examples connecting with impulse and momentum. For example, a cricket player lowers his hands when a ball is coming in the direction of the ball. Why? Because you know the change of momentum is caused by impulsive force, but the change of momentum mu minus mv, that means it is directly proportional to F, I told you. So, F is equal to m v minus mu by t. Suppose if you catch it very shortly, the time is very less. When the time is very less, the force will be more. So, you may get hurt. That is why he is making the time interval very large by lowering your hand down. Lowering your hand down, what happens means the average time of contact is more. So, the less force will be there, your hands will not be hurt. That is one of the example of that. Secondly, now a person falls in a cement floor, he gets hurt. Now, in the case of a person, if he falls in a sand floor, he is not at all hurt, because you know that is why they are using this sand floor for high jump and long jump, etc. Third, suppose in a wheel, that is in a moving machines, they are attaching some springs or shock observers. Suppose it is moving, what happens when it is moving, there may be uneven or wavy roads. So, the uneven roads and wavy roads, so there it will manage that. That is the reason we are using that. Newton's third law motion. You know, when I am sitting in this chair, I am giving a force on the chair. In turn, the chair exerts a force on me. So, when there is a body which exerts a force on another body, the body exerts equal and opposite force on the on the body. That means, this is called law of action and reaction. So, the chair exerts a force on me, that is reaction. I am exerting a force on the chair, that is called action. So, according to Newton's third law, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So, a first body F is exerting force on the second body, let the force be F12. Then the second body exerts a force on the first body, the force exerted is equal to F21. That means, F12 is equal to minus F21. That is, the first one is called action, the second one is called reaction. Now, action and reaction takes place at two different bodies. Now, force, these two forces are in pair, they cannot cancel each other. Now, I can tell you some of the day to day activities influenced by Newton's third law of motion. For example, if you take a gun, then we are firing gun, the bullet is going forward direction, the bullet, that is action, the gun that is recoils back, that is called reaction, first case. Second case, suppose you are moving in the river, suppose you are getting down from the boat to the water. So, you are pushing the boat backside, that is action. In turn, boat pushes you in the forward direction, that is called reaction. Now, when you are swimming, you are pushing water in the backward direction, that is called action. Then in turn, water pushes you in the forward direction, that is called reaction. Then if you take birds, when they are flying with the help of the wings, the wing pushes the air in the backward direction, that is called action. In turn, the air pushes the birds in the forward direction, that is called reaction. Similarly, when you are walking, that is your feet is pushing down, that is called action. In turn, the floor reacts with you. So, that is called reaction. Now, you are pushing your hand on the wall, that is called action. In turn, the wall pushes you, your hands, there is some sort of thing, that is called reaction. So, these are the things. Now, I am going to connect the third law of Newton and law of conservation of momentum. Now, you know law of conservation of momentum. From the principle of impulse and momentum, impulse of a force J, I told you already, J is equal to the product of the force and time, that is called impulse. So, J is equal to mv minus mu. If J is equal to 0, then mv minus mu is equal to 0, or mv is equal to mu, and final momentum is equal to initial momentum. Now, here suppose I am taking two balls, one is A. So, one is A, I am taking two balls A and B. So, both of them, first ball is having a mass m1 and it is moving with a velocity u1 in one direction, and the second ball is having a mass m2 and it is moving with a velocity u2. Now, that is also moving in the same direction. Both of them collide, head on collision, collide with each other, so that their velocity changes. Same force, they are experiencing same force in equal and opposite direction. Let me take the head on collision of two bodies. One is A, it is having mass m1, it is moving with a velocity u1. Then the second ball is B, which is moving with a velocity u2 and it is having a mass m2. Now, both of them are moving in the same direction. When they are colliding with each other, their mass, their velocity changes from, first ball changes from u1 to v1, the second ball changes from u2 to v2. So, the time of collision for both of them are same, that is t. Now, let me tell, suppose the force F1 exerted by A on B, F1 is equal to m2 mass m2 into V2 minus U2 by T2. Similarly, F2 acting on a body A for the same time t changes its velocity from u1 to v1. F2 is equal to mass of the body A into acceleration of body A, that is m1 into v1 minus u1 by t. Then by Newton's third law of motion, F1 is equal to minus F2, that is m2 into v2 minus u2 by t is equal to minus m1 into v1 minus u1 by t. m2 v2 minus u2 is equal to minus m1 v1 minus u1. m2 v2 minus m2 u2 is equal to minus m1 v1 plus m1 u1, that is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2, that is total momentum before impact is equal to total momentum after impact, that is total momentum of the system is a constant. This proves the law of conservation of momentum. So, let us see the application of conservation of momentum. First application, I have told you already, that is the recoil of gun. That is, when the bullet is, when we are firing a gun, the bullet is going in the forward direction and the gun is coming back in the backward direction. So, here according to law of conservation of momentum, the initial momentum is equal to final momentum. That means the momentum, that is momentum before firing should be equal to momentum after firing. Now, this can be explained on this basis. Let me say, for example, before firing the gun and bullet are at rest, that means their velocities are 0. That means 0 is the total momentum before firing. When it is moving, when the bullet is moving with a velocity Vb and the gun is moving with velocity Vg, mass of the bullet is equal to mb, mass of the gun is equal to mg. Now, momentum before firing is equal to momentum after firing. Momentum before firing is equal to 0, momentum after firing is equal to mass of the bullet mb, velocity of the bullet Vb, mb Vb plus mass of the gun mg plus velocity of the gun Vg, that is 0 is equal to mb Vb plus mg Vg. From this known values of all this Vg, Vb, we can find out Vg is equal, Vg we can find out this equation. That means Vg will be negative, that itself indicate that the velocity of the gun is in the backward direction. Minus sign shows that it is moving in the backward direction, that means it is recoil of the gun. Now, explosion. What is explosion? Suppose we take a ball, it explodes. Originally the ball is at rest, that means its velocity is 0. When the velocity is 0, the momentum is equal to 0. Suppose it explodes, where so many parts are moving in all possible directions. So, each is having a momentum in all directions. Now, suppose when it explodes, two equal parts are going, they will move in same direction because their mass is same. So, this is another example of conservation of momentum. Now, let me talk about the rocket and jet. This is also an interesting example of law of conservation of momentum and also Newton's third law. Now, I am connecting Newton's third law along with law of conservation of momentum. Now, you see in the rocket, what is there? Inside the rocket there is fuel is there, the combustion of fuel is there. Because of the combustion of the fuel, it is coming with high temperature and high pressure. So, it is going by its nozzle in the backward direction. This is reaction. Then what happens because of the reaction? The according to Newton's third law, for every reaction, the action must be in the forward direction of the momentum of the rocket. Now, what happens? The escaping gases, they are going in the backward direction, the rocket is flying in the forward direction, that is Newton's third law. Then law of conservation of momentum says the momentum before impact should be before initial momentum is equal to final momentum. Here what happens, the gases are coming back, escaping because of the coming back. So, the rocket is moving back, moving forward, that means their acceleration and the velocity increase in the forward direction. The escaping gases are coming back, so their fuel and mass varies, that is decreases. So, this is the application of law of conservation of momentum and Newton's third law of motion. Now, I explained so many things and I am giving a gist of what I have told you in the beginning. What is Newton's laws of motion, and I explained you what is momentum and what is impulse and the relationship between law of impulse and momentum, and what are the application of conservation of momentum. All these things I told you in this lecture. The questions I am going to tell you here: what is momentum? What is the relationship between change of momentum and principle of impulse? How conservation of momentum and Newton's third law are connected? What are the applications of conservation of momentum? How Newton's third law is connected in daily activities of life? With this, we are coming to the end of the session. Thank you very much.